everyone. Welcome back for all of you in the audience who were not here before, and for all of you online, if you are just joining us, I'm Kimberly Bottom with CNTV, your MC for this event. This is the Together Again Expo. We are so happy to be here and see some friendly faces today. It's been a really great experience so far. Lots of great tips and education, and there is more to come. So coming up, guys, we have another education presentation by United Service Companies. They are providing the cleaning and sanitation for our Together Again Expo today. They're here to provide us with some of those tips for keeping your event safe and clean. So please welcome to the stage Patty Olinger. She is with GBAC. Also Mike Graney and Vicki Rosen Sanetra with United Service Companies. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody, for having us here. First, want to talk a little bit about what United Service Companies does and how we got involved with the show. Some of you have heard of us, some of you have heard a lot about us. But we started several decades ago in Chicago cleaning offices, and now we're the largest trade show cleaning contractor in the country. We added to that a security division that does trade show security. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the security folks at the front doors monitoring, making sure people have their masks on and people are also hand sanitizing. What brought us here today was, as everybody else is here today, numerous conversations about how do we get the trade show industry back together and reopening, so to speak. So we got involved with several of our partners and what's the best way to sanitize a trade show. And I think the main message today is it's going to take a lot of people, a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot of people, your attendees, exhibitors, show management, everybody jumping in and taking ownership of personally hand sanitizing. I can tell you when I walked over from the Hyatt this morning, I'm on the pedestrian bridge and I open up a door and I get on the escalator. I'm taking the escalator down and I hold on to the handrail, 3 points of contact so I don't fall and tumble. I get off the escalator, walk through another door, and the good news is Orange County Convention Center made sure that there was hand sanitizing stations positioned throughout the lobby. So again, you need to sanitize your hands. I came into the show floor. I must have touched a couple things. By assumption, I'm saying I must have touched a couple things. And we have sponsored all of the hand sanitizing stations on the show floor. So I walked up to one of the hand sanitizing stations and cleaned my hands. The reason I bring this up is we need to be self-aware of what's going on around us and our surroundings. We need to be cognizant that whether we're asymptomatic, we know somebody that has carried COVID, that we're making sure that we're not infecting somebody unintentionally. We know it's not going to be intentionally. As far as the show floor itself and cleaning of the show floor, every evening during the move-in of the show, we'd sanitize the show floor. Kept the hard surfaces clean with our team. With the sprayers, hard surfaces we wiped, soft surfaces we used the sprayer to sanitize the surfaces. Last night, even though there was no attendees, once the I&D guys and gals got out of here, we sanitized the show floor. This morning, we've been walking around making sure everything was clean. There seems to be, and I'm sure a lot of people have noticed that there's been a little bit of overlap on the show floor as far as cleaning. I noticed some people were assumed the responsibility of cleaning some of the seating areas after a session, and it seemed like both ends of the service providers, I think some of the United Service Companies employees and a couple of the Orange County Convention Center employees were cleaning the same area. That's fine, that's great. I want to turn it over, Patty, a little bit about what the steps you feel that people should be taking in your area of, how do we keep people from contaminating an area, and more, as importantly, how do we sanitize it once the people have left an area?
Well, thank you very much. And I had a hard time understanding, so I'm not quite sure what you just handed off to me, but I'm going to try here. First of all, what we talked about earlier is that this really is a collaboration. It's a collaboration between the service company that's providing the cleaning, disinfection services, the convention center, the event, It really must be a, collaboration. I have had the privilege to work with United Services and Rick Simon and these two individuals over the last couple months as we're looking at what procedures need to be put in place, how do we implement them, how do we collaborate together, and then also how we learn about new technologies and how we apply these new technologies, how we verify and validate what needs to be in place. I feel blessed a little bit to be able to have, that education on my aspect, from a standpoint of learning from these folks on what they do on a day-to-day basis, and then be able to then overlay and work with them from a biosafety standpoint to say, okay, how are we looking at the procedures, what you've been doing in the past, what we need to do now, and how that may change in the future. And I think we're going to see a lot of changes in the future. United Services has been just an amazing partner with these facilities and the events, getting this to the point where we can feel confident, where we can feel comfortable and feel safe that we can continue to reopen. Vicki?
Thank you, Patty. We are pleased and honored to have Patty partner with us in the GBAC. GBAC being out there, it is sponsored by ISSA, and it's scientists, medical professionals. Who else is in the groups? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Our scientific advisory board actually is made up of several different individuals in both the service industry as well as a lot of folks in the research industry and, like you said, scientists and medical professionals, several individuals who have worked for, at one point in time in their career, for the Center for Disease Control, Health Canada. We've worked with WHO, ISO, a lot of different folks. So they understand the regulatory aspect, but also they have worked at the front lines, whether it would be an Ebola outbreak, SARS outbreak from 2003, Zika, you name it. A lot of different folks.
So United Service Company has taken the opportunity to work alongside and help change our operations. Obviously, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of misinformation. GBAC has helped us make some really wise decisions on equipment and how do we open up so we can begin to operate somewhat semi-normal. There is no normal anymore, it's all changed, but electrostatic spraying, there's a lot of documentation on how that ensures that the people attending trade shows, they're safe. We have to retrain how we go about cleaning. I come from operations, and so there's been several different ways. We are now introducing new chemicals. We are ensuring that our staff is safe because, again, we don't want to have them exposed to the new dangers, but we also want to make sure that we're continuing to work. So I think it's very important that we have people like Patty who have the expertise and knowledge to help guide us to make the right choices and to help us open up again, because the convention industry is very important to our economy, and we have to ensure that people feel safe attending, exhibiting, working, because at the end of the day, without that safety component, people are hesitant, but it's safe to come out again.
Thanks, Vicki. I think back to the, on the trade show, on the business side of things, I mean, our industry is very sensitive, right? We bring people from all parts of the country, all parts of the world to come to a lot of the trade shows. And I think that show management, organizers, decorators, everybody needs to be cognizant about what it's going to take to ensure that the show is as clean and sanitized as possible. So who do you go to? It's like we went to GBAC to figure out how, so we could educate ourselves and then we can in turn provide the right product at show site. But we need a commitment from everybody as far as who's running the show as to what are you willing to commit on the front end of the show, time commitment, so you clearly understand our policies, our procedures, and our process, right? We all know about the bottom line for each show, right? Each city. Everything goes up to the corporate office somewhere. there's I don't want to say it's a new normal. I think right now we're at the stage where we've been inconvenienced, so to speak, as far as we need to shift some of our finances towards cleaning of the show. I'm not saying that as a cleaning contractor. I'm saying that as for today, I'm an exhibitor. Tomorrow I might be an attendee. And I flew down here on United Airlines. I was a passenger. I opened up the tray table. Somebody just cleaned it because there's still some residual cleaning solutions that were on the tray table. That's all part of education that we need to make sure that, the shows that we are servicing, that there's a commitment from show management that they're willing to step forward and say, okay, you're the cleaning experts, you guys handle the show. On the back end of that, we need to make sure that all of that communication gets pushed down to your staff, to everybody that's at show site, because we can have all the conversations we want to have at the corporate office and above us. You get to show site, what is the ground truth of what's happening at show site, right? We can have all the policies up at the corporate level. At show site, we need to make sure that everybody is following those guidelines. We need to protect our most important assets, and that's the people, whether it starts with our employees, to our attendees, our customers, our future customers that we're meeting at the shows. So I want to make sure that we do say thank you to City of Orlando and Orange County Convention Center, allowing us to be involved, to GBAC, and everybody else that's put on this show. We're glad to get our name out there again in the show community at an actual trade show, not on a virtual conversation or meetings. We've all been on them ad nauseum. We need to get back to the point where that we are out in front of our customers, because there's nothing better than the emotional connection and the face-to-face connection you have at show site. It needs to be all backed up with those people that are healthy once, prior to arriving at show site and once they leave show site. So thank you again, everybody that's here, and everybody allowed everybody to be here.